Thank you very much, Mr. Oluwasegun Adebajo, for your presentation. I noticed some people still, excuse me, they still ask question in the chat box. Please, if you ask question in the chat box, we will not respond to it. You have the Q&A button to ask your question. Again, some people still introduce themselves in the chat box, I mean the Q&A box. The Q&A box is strictly for question and answer. It is not for engagements of asking how your friend is doing. You know, it's for us to hear from you. So we will be going to the next segment, which is on health talk in the next 10, 15 minutes of our time. And we have someone to take us through that, Mrs. Ada Dugan, who is a lawyer and HR expert. She's also a facilitator and a member of a few professional bodies within and outside Nigeria. So I hereby welcome Mrs. Ada Dugan to tell us how we should live healthily after we get into or when we're into retirement. So Mrs. Dugan, over to you.
Good morning. The Honorable Commissioner, Establishment, Training and Pensions, esteemed Permanent Secretary living in retirement. It is generally accepted that the greatest possession anyone can have is good health, from which we derive the adage, health is wealth. May the Lord grant us all long years of life with robust health and joy. The importance of managing one's health in retirement cannot be a very pleasurable retirement or a not so happy one. The fact is, even if you have millions in your account and you fall ill, ailments can actually gulp the entire amount. Now, the ability to expect and constructively plan for physical, material, economic, and social changes is critical to ensuring sound health in retirement. And our approach is to help and assist intending retirees to expect and constructively make health and lifestyle changes to ensure a very responsibility for managing your own health. Now, we cannot talk about health management without talking about the COVID-19 infection, which has been with us for the better part of this year. You are all aware, and I'm sure you do observe all the protocol, wearing your face mask, which should be a cloth face up and others when in public, especially when we encourage you to continue but if you cannot get access to someone with you wherever you go, cover your mouth and nose when you cough and sneeze. You can do so with a tissue. If you do so with a tissue, please dispose of it in a hygienic fashion as soon as you're finished. Or you can actually cough or sneeze into the sleeve of your outfit. Practice social and physical distancing. Maintain the 6-foot distance from other people and avoid crowded places and gathering in groups. Clean and disinfect surfaces, frequently used surfaces like doorknobs, like tables with a virus cleaning disinfectant. If you feel ill, please stay at home. If you notice that there is a Lagos State COVID-19 emergency hotline, there are some hotlines that you can call. Please call them and you will get immediate attention. Now, retirement is associated with aging. And there are certain minor ailments associated with aging, such as minor mood swings, sadness. You could ask, why would you experience, might you experience some sadness? This is because of loss of identity, loss of daily contact with colleagues at work, who sometimes have often even become like family. It's also a time when we have children moving out of the house, setting up their new families, a lot of things going on within the family, sometimes deaths. And this can cause some mood swings. Let's be aware of it. We could also, then we could also have some loneliness because family members are moving out. We could also experience some sleep disorders. I'm sure that a lot of us are already wearing spectacles, either for sight or reading, or for both. It's a time when we experience also minor hearing impairment, forgetfulness, sometimes getting up from one place in the house to go to another, being interrupted and forgetting what we even set out to do. Urinary incontinence for some women, sometimes out of excitement, you're laughing, you might find that you actually begin to pee a little. And then stiffness and muscle weakness. Kí egun bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gan, kí iṣan bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí rọ̀. And of course, tiredness, because let's face it, we are aging. The fact is that the human body would have worked for about 60 years non-stop. And so we should expect that some of the organs of the body may begin to get a bit weak. There are also some major ailments associated with aging, retirement. Ailments like serious visual impairment. It could take the form of cataracts. It could take the form of pressure glaucoma, cardiovascular disease, as high blood pressure or hypertension, or diabetes mellitus, sugar. It may present itself in obesity. The fact is that we're a little more sedentary than we used to be when we used to go to work. And so, it could take the form of arthritis, in the joints, in the hands, in the elbows, the knees, the legs, even in the back. It could take the form of cancers. It's a time when some cancers begin to rear their ugly heads. We don't pray for it. For women, ó lè jẹ́ àrùn inú ọyàn, ó lè jẹ́ àrùn cervical cancer, àrùn ilé ọmọ. For both men and women, it could be colon cancer, àrùn inú ìfun. For men, prostate cancer. Also, some form of anemia may begin to surface, àrùn ẹ̀jẹ̀, and some reduced kidney function, èyí tá à ń pè ní àrùn kíndìnrín. We could also begin to experience some mental health issues, such as Alzheimer's and dementia. Those are some of the major ailments associated with aging. Now, we are a bit particular about managing mental health. The fact is that in our country, we pay a lot of attention to physical health and not sufficient attention to mental health. Mental health would often present itself initially as depression. There are some symptoms associated with it, such as loss of appetite and weight. Inability to sleep. I mentioned that earlier. Loss of energy and motivation. Extreme mood swings and irritability. And àìní ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀. Anger outbursts such as ìkàmábínú sódì. If you notice that you're experiencing any of these symptoms or a combination of them, please consult your doctor immediately and take immediate steps to get medical attention. Now, our approach is on a proactive one, preventive rather than curative. In this wise, we advise that you observe good standard of hygiene, at least one bath a day. If you can have 2 daily baths, all well and good. Care of the teeth and the mouth, brushing your teeth regularly, paying regular visits to the dentist, keeping our hair nicely washed, clean, our nails well cut and trimmed, caring for our entire body. And it's interesting that even the World Health Organization has designated 1 day a year as hand washing day. Hand washing is invaluable to keep disease-causing germs away. We also advocate prevention and early detection of critical conditions through regular visits to the doctors for necessary tests to identify potential problems even before they arise. Yearly physical examination and screening, eye vision, blood pressure, blood sugar, chest x-ray, pap smear for women, mammogram for women, and prostate checks, etc. Now, we also advocate self-examination for everyone. At least once a week, spend some time after taking your bath to examine yourself from head to toe. Examine your body, examine your skin. Look out for any growths, any swellings. For women, we advocate breast self-examination, which means you check around your breast, feel around your breast, under your armpit, for any lumps, any swellings, any changes in the size of your breast, any other changes even in the nipple. As soon as you notice those changes, please consult your doctor. For men, we ask that you also do some testicular checks and have your prostate checks. Our approach is to ensure that retirees enjoy a greatly enhanced quality of life. Now, the question arises, how do we fund healthcare in retirement? Since that it is a time when a lot of us are actually dependent, will be dependent on our pension rather than incomes. Due to the rising qualitative healthcare, and to plan in advance how to address healthcare expenses in retirement. Options include things like healthcare insurance. Now, it is interesting, and kudos to the Lagos State government, because the Lagos State government is looking into implementation of healthcare insurance for intending retirees, such that you will receive treatment at the primary healthcare centers, government-owned institutions, general hospitals, and they're even looking to also partner with some designated private hospitals. Such ailments like arthritis, like blood pressure, hypertension, typhoid, malaria will be treated, as well as even X-ray of the hands and the legs. You'll be duly informed about this when the scheme is fully implemented. Aside from this, you could also utilize the federal government insurance scheme called the VICSHIP, the Voluntary Social Health Insurance Program. Under this arrangement, an annual payment of a premium of 15,000 Naira guarantees you access to healthcare in any NHIS registered hospital across the whole of Nigeria. We would also advocate, another option is, if you have some bulk money at the beginning of the year, you have a trade there with the doctor on something that operates like a retainership basis, whereby when you're ill, you can always go there, have some treatment, have some reconciliation done, and you'll be told the balance that you have in your account. The fact is that ailments often come when we least expect it and when we're ill prepared. So this helps to take care of it. Note again, kudos to Lagos State, that Lagos State has a provision for senior citizens over the age of 60, whereby they can enjoy a percentage discount on certain categories of surgery. In terms of healthy living in retirement, we advocate healthy feeding and optimum nourishment. Eat a balanced diet comprising of the different classes of food in adequate proportions. carbohydrates, the energy giving foods, proteins, the bodybuilding, minerals, fats and oil in adequate proportion. Please avoid eating a lot of oil and butter because it only causes constipation and can drive up your cholesterol level. Try to plan a weekly menu. The fact is that if you don't plan a weekly menu, when you do feel those hunger pangs, you will eat anything and everything in sight. Incorporate a lot of fish, lean meat, fruit and vegetables into your diet. As pleasurable as they are, please limit the intake of junk and fast foods. Because they do not contain a lot of nutrients, your body temperature as well. We advocate that you have regular physical exercise, at least 20 to 30 minutes a day. The human body was not made to be sedentary. Engage in brisk walks. For those who like sports, engage in jogging, swimming, because you use golf. Golf, though pleasurable, it has been found out and research has shown that more business deals are clinched on the golf course than even in offices. If you enjoy cycling, by all means, do so. Aerobics workout exercises. Now, there's one activity that we all engage in from time to time, but we do not recognize that it is good exercise, and that is dancing. Put on the music you used to enjoy when you were in your teens and dance to them. Dance heartily for about an hour. Enjoy yourself. Put on the Ebenezer Obey tracks, Sonny Ade tracks, the ones you used to engage in that would allow you to dance vigorously and use all the muscles of your body. You'll find that you're sweating in a short time. And before long, you'll find that you've had your exercise for the day. And believe me, it is very pleasurable as well. Even if you have domestic help, please engage in domestic chores, sweeping, dusting, cleaning, scrubbing, ironing, gardening, to mention a few. It also makes you happy because there are things that you actually do enjoy. Try to reduce stress level, develop a confident and positive mindset. Realize that your thoughts create a direct physical effect on your health. In this wise, we ask that you try to avoid negative emotions. Try to avoid anger, kaye mabinu, resentment, ìkórìíra, unforgiveness, kaye male dariji àwọn tó ṣẹ̀ wá. Try to avoid worry and anxiety as well, because all it does is causes illness for you, causes blood pressure issues, and makes you unhappy. Interpret events in a positive manner. Believe that the best is yet to come. Find ways to relax and laugh. Laughter is very good for the soul. It boosts the immune system. It makes you happy and makes the people around you happy as well. And it also relieves tension and stress. Find ways to relax, either by yoga, meditation, reading a book, performing some kind of exercise. Do what works for you. Try to eliminate addictions and bad habits and do things in moderation. Gbogbo nǹkan tá a máa ń ṣe ńgbà tá a kéré yẹn, tá a máa ń ṣe tó máa ń múnú wa dùn, ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣe níwọ̀nba àbí ká má tiẹ̀ ṣe at all, right? Gbogbo àwọn àṣà burúkú, àṣàkáṣà, the things we used to do when boys were boys and when girls were girls, drinking, smoking. Try and eliminate smoking because it's bad for you. Smoking could actually cause lung cancer, not just for you, but for secondary smokers. People around you are also put at risk. Moderate alcohol intake, could move 3-4 bottles of beer, or deku, or take hot drinks. Moderate alcohol intake, please. Moderate sugar intake as well. Improve and protect the quality of your sleep, because this is crucial to our health and happiness. Take power naps in the afternoon as needed. Tó bá rẹ̀ wá lọ́sàn-án, a lè fẹ̀gbẹ́ lélẹ̀ díẹ̀, ká sùn. An hour or two. After that, you find that and you're ready to take on the other issues of the day. Reduce caffeine and alcohol intake after 6 p.m. because they only keep you awake. Try and introduce a wind down ritual, such as a warm drink or bath before going to bed, and sleep in well ventilated rooms. Give back to your community and get involved. The fact is that as we age, the body does deteriorate, but there are ways that we can keep the brain alert and actually delay the mental aging process. Give back to the community, get involved. Give back to the community that has helped to grow you and make you who you are. Engage in volunteer work with non-profit organizations. For our Christian, ìgbà onígbàgbọ́, a lè máa lọ sí church àbí ká máa ṣe church virtual services. Àwọn jẹ́ Mùsùlùmí, a lè máa lọ sí mọ́ṣáláṣí. The fact
Sorry,
is that
you have spent 5 minutes above your time, please.
All right, I'll try and wrap up as quickly as possible. Fundraising for the underprivileged in society. If you're cerebral, sit on the boards of schools, universities, high institutions, engage in consulting work, mentoring and coaching of young professionals. Try and maintain a healthy social network. It is found that happy, active people with lots of friends and relatives will always make considerable use of their mental and physical faculties, which keeps them healthy and energized. Ojoojúmọ́ là ń gbọ́ pé àwọn ọmọ sí ò lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọn ò lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Wọ́n lè má lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nítorí àwọn ọmọ wa wọ́n á ti tètè jí láàárọ̀ wọ́n á fi lélẹ̀ wọ́n á lọ bí iṣẹ́ wọn ní dé títí dalẹ́. You find that nurturing of children is left to domestic help and housemates. So engage in nurturing your young ones, inculcating the right values in them to make them good citizens of tomorrow. Use your mind, write books, generate creative and innovative ideas, write books, documenting your experiences, read widely. For those who are even interested in politics or òṣèlú, you can also team up with the government to contribute your wealth of knowledge and experience to the advancement of the state and the country at large. Engage in hobbies you've always wanted to engage in but had no time. One thing indulging in traveling, it broadens your horizon. You see how things are done differently in different countries. Turn hobbies into little businesses that translate into income. Have a florist business, even in your garden. For those who like arts and crafts, there are things like bead making, tie and dye, aladire, ashoke making. You could run a business center for those who like making confectionery, for those who like omosa, karaimbo, dede. You can begin to do those. Don't rule out drama as well. I have an auntie who joined Nollywood well into her 60s, and I was actually very excited, rejuvenated. It actually took 20 years of her age. In conclusion, we say enjoyment is a critical component of retirement planning. And just as we engage in financial planning for retirement, the same should be applied to health planning to ensure a healthy, enjoyable, vibrant, and satisfying retirement. So we advise that you invest a little time in your health and lifestyle every day to enjoy a very high return on investment, longevity, and enhanced quality of life. We ask that you start preparing today for tomorrow. Agbawa daleo. Aso wasile, aso wasalafia, aso wasire, aso wasomo. Ọjọ́ alẹ́ wa sọ ju òwúrọ̀ lọ. A ò ní sunkún ọmọ rere àgbẹ̀yìn. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ó di àjùmọ̀ṣe. Thank you, incorporate this health tips and into your healthy living and lifestyle in retirement. Thank you very much. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Duggan, for your session. We'll go straight to Mr. Wale Shueton on how we can manage our finances during retirement. Please, if you have question and answer, put your questions and answer in the Q&A room using the Q&A button. Thank you very much. Mr. Shueton, over to you. Mr. Shueton. a moment before you go on, I would like to recognize the presence of the Permanent Secretary, Office of Establishment, Mr. Abiodun Bamigboye. I don't know if he's still on this call. He joined us a couple of minutes ago. So I cannot see him on the call, but we just want to recognize his presence here. So Mr. Shetton, over to you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on already established protocol. My name is Wale Shweton, and I work for Lagos State Pension Commission. And I'm here to present to you a paper on managing your finance in retirement. Briefly, the outline of my presentation, I'll start by way of introduction, taking us through the realities of retirement. Secondly, I would talk to you on your retirement entitlements, what constitutes your retirement entitlements. And thirdly, we'll look at your lump sum and the points to consider in managing your lump sum. We'll also look at your monthly pension, how to manage your monthly pension, and then I will conclude. Introduction. The first thing I want you to know is that retirement is a journey and it is not a destination. We are all entering our retirement phase now. It's another phase of our life. It is our evening time. We have passed through our morning time, which is the time we were born and we went to school. We've passed through our afternoon time, concluding it the time we started to raise our families and to work. And this is our evening time, time to retire and rest. It is not the end. It is the beginning of another phase of life. And we must adjust our lifestyle accordingly. The second point that I want you to know is that at retirement, our income will reduce drastically. Now we are collecting salaries and allowances and all that. By the time we retire, there won't be salaries and allowances any longer. What we are going to be having is our monthly pension, which is just going to be a fraction of what we are currently earning. So we should know that this income will reduce drastically, and we must adjust our lifestyle accordingly. Number three, our salary alert will stop. Presently, we are all used to receiving salary alerts on the 23rd of every month. This is going to stop. What we are going to be getting is our monthly pension at the time that we agree with either our PFA or annuity service provider, as the case may be. Number four, we must realize that fringe benefits and other perks of office will cease and will no longer be available to you. Whilst we are working, we get fringe benefits like domestic allowances, funded foreign trips for medical expenses and all that. All these are going to stop. This is one of the realities that we must come to terms with. Number five is that the effect of inflation will be more apparent because our purchasing power of money has reduced drastically. For our retirement entitlement, which is basically your accrued rights that is currently sitting in our retirement savings accounts, these two components will form our retirement entitlements. And the first payments that we're going to get is by way of lump sum. By way of lump sum. This is the bulky aspect of the retirement entitlements that we get. For some, it could be 25%. For some, it could be higher. So by the time we get our lump sum, to understand Number one is that, please, I will advise that you should not be in a hurry to start spending. You should not be in a hurry. I know that by the time we retire, we would all have a lot of financial obligations that are already waiting. But don't be in a hurry. Take your time before you start spending your lump sum. And some of the points that I want you to consider in managing your lump sum are these. Number one, please avoid risky ventures. Don't go into ventures that are risky. At this point in our life, our risk appetite should be very, very low. The rule that says the higher the risk, the higher the return, it does not apply to us at this point in time. Rather, it is going to be the higher the risk, the higher the blood pressure. I pray that we will not have blood pressure by way of our financial decisions. Number two, please don't invest in wasting assets. Put your money in productive assets, assets that are productive, that will turn around to bring us additional income. For instance, jewelries, clothes, and all those things. Or even vehicles, cars, they are wasted assets. They will waste away and depreciate. But productive assets are the way to go at this point in our life. Number three, in the short term, before we begin to go into any kind of business, you can buy financial instruments so that your money will not be idle somewhere. You can buy financial instruments, you can, you can buy bonds, so that decide on which business to go into. Your money is already generating income for you. Number four, we can convert part of our house for rental income purposes. A lot of us would have built big houses and big mansions. At this time in our lives, we don't need to live in big houses any longer. Our children are married off. It is only us and our spouses. So if you have big houses, you don't need to live in that big house. Convert part of it for rental purposes. And it's also good for our health, so that we'll have neighbors that are living around us. We have people living around us. It is also good for health purposes. Number five, discretionary expenses like marriage ceremonies, birthdays, housewarmings, they must be well planned and provided for. You must plan for it and provide for it accordingly. Number six, to earn daily cash flow, we can engage in petty trading or start a small business venture or enhance our existing businesses for better performance and returns. Now, for our monthly pension, which is going to be the monthly pension that you'll be collecting from either your PFA or your annuity service provider on a monthly basis. Like I said, it's going to be a fraction of what we are currently earning as salaries. So this is your monthly pension. It's basically to cover things like your daily feeding, your Medicare, and household utilities. So some of the points that you need to consider in managing your monthly pension. Number one, cancel all forms of credit cards. If you have any credit card at this point in our lives, you don't need credit cards any longer. Please cancel it. Number two, I will advise that we do not borrow against our monthly pension. It's not good to borrow against your monthly pension. Live within your means. Number three, do not buy Ashwebi with your pension. Number four, do not engage in government contracts unless it is cash backed. I'm not saying government contracts are not good. They are good, but some of them are long-term in nature. And we don't need this kind of contracts unless it is cash backed and you consult widely. Number five, do not make purchases on credit. Avoid buying things on credit. In conclusion, if you have to pass down your assets to any of your beneficiaries, particularly our children, please do so while still alive by writing a will or establishing a trust or foundation. Writing a will is not a death sentence. Retirement is supposed to be a period for senior citizens where they are able to travel for leisure and put their feet up and enjoy life. I pray that we shall live the rest of our lives in good health and prosperity. Thank you for listening. God bless.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wale Shueton, for your presentation. Quite exciting. And thank you for keeping to time. You've been able to save us 120 seconds since we started. So I think I owe you a bottle of Coke for that. I know you're still quite very young. You can still drink Coke. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your presentation was wonderful at the time, straight to the point, and very, very impactful. I do hope we listeners and attendees can learn quite a lot from there. Thank you for your presentation. Don't forget, please, if you have your questions, put them in the Q&A sessions. And I can see that Mr. Afis Oyibo has done justice to many questions being sent to that platform. Thank you, Mr. Afis Oyibo, for brilliant work you're doing behind the scene. I think I owe you a bottle of water because I can see that you are nearing retirement age anyway. So we will be going straight to the last segment of this program, discussing about retirees' virtual collaboration channels with LASPEC. And this will be handled by Mr. Yusuf Babatunde, who is the head of ICT in LASPEC. He's had a master's degree in computer science. He's been in LASPEC for quite some time. As a matter of fact, he's a pioneer head of ICT in LASPEC. And I would like to welcome Mr. Yusuf Babatunde. I don't know if he's on the call. Mr. Yusuf Babatunde? Okay, I can see you. Please, you can unmute yourself and take over the virtual stage. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Good afternoon, Honorable Commissioner, Permanent Secretaries present, DG.
Sorry, your network is seriously dragging. We can barely hear you.
Oh, okay, let me start again. Good afternoon, Honorable Commissioner, the DG, the EDs, and ladies and gentlemen, prospective retirees. My name is Yusuf Babatunde. I'm the head of ICT. And my role today here is to intimate you with various channels of communication that's available with LASPEC in view of the new world order. Now, if you look at this screen that you are looking at, this is early last year. This same event, this is the way we host it. It was hosted exactly this way. But this one cannot happen again because no thanks to COVID-19. It is unexpected. Nobody expected it. It came all of a sudden. And of course, we're here to live with it. Now, the COVID pandemic itself is a reality. And of course, it teaches us another way of doing our things. During the period, many government operations, both federal and state, were halted. People are not doing the work again. Unfortunately, people are still hungry in their house. And of course, COVID does not care whether you get money or you don't. Now, the difficulty was not too difficult for us because LASPEC, because we have always been ready, we were able to work and continue to pre-retire throughout the period. And of course, I want to tell the prospective retirees today that LASPEC, your new service points agency, when you leave the service, will always be there to assist you in any of those difficult times. And of course, how is it possible? Of course, we're able to do this with the doggedness of our management. There are proactive process automation introduced. And of course, delivery turnaround was also embarked by our management, headed by Mr. Babalola Obilana. Of course, we also expanded our virtual channels We brought some other initiative into it. Then quick process turnaround initiative also, which was introduced by the new management, get the job done faster. And it is now we sometimes waiting for retirees to collect their bond rather than to do it at the point of collecting it. Now, the management also introduced mobile response desk, and staff were dedicated to all e-channel for 24/7 attendance. So we talk to retirees even in the middle of the night. When you send mail, you receive feedback. And what has happened since then is that the interaction in the e-channels begin to grow. We are witnessing such. And of course, if you can see, as of today, we processed close to 3,000, inquiries and question and answer for people who needed to reach us. Now, what are these channels? Now we have the normal email address that everybody's familiar with, info@laspec.gov.ng. What happened today is that if we receive email from this channel, we process it immediately. And it does not matter any time of the day we receive email, we process it. We also collect documents. You are going to get to a point where you are processing your documents and we'll be needing to call you to send certain documents to us. And instead of you transporting yourself up and down, you can easily send it to us, and then we'll give you all these channels so that you'll be able to see it. So we process a lot of documents using this channel. We also get back to you on inquiries. We make use of the bulk messages, the direct SMS, the phone calls. We make use of this very well. And of course, that has enabled us to begin to continue to work, even when the world is not moving. And we're able to get quick response to our individual retirees. Now, we also have a website, of course, which I want you to take notice of. From now, you can go and check laspec.gov.ng. This is our interface to the world. You're going to learn more about pension itself. You're going to see some public documents, histories, laws, and of course, our stakeholders link, like the PFAs, PFCs, PENCOM, and so on. And you're going to learn more about the pension. Now, we have a retiree portal. This is particularly important, and I need to talk about it. As we all begin to disperse from here, you can go back to your individual, desk to log into laspecportal.com.ng, and even the training of today will be loaded onto it, and you see there. There are several training documents of the past in that particular portal, and of course, videos of ceremonies that were held in the past. So if you want to listen to documentation seminar like this, of about 3 or 4 that were done in the past, you can still see it here, both virtual and the one we did physically.
So, Mr. Yusuf, your internet is dragging.
All right.
We're struggling to hear you.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so these are, brief history, features of our portal. If you go to the portal, this is the first page.
Hello, Mr. Yusuf. Please, can you unmute yourself? You're muted.
Thank you. I've almost got to the...
Mr. Yusuf, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yes, I've unmute myself. Can you hear me now?
Hello, Mr.
Hello, can you hear me? Wow. So these are some of the other screens you will see within the portal. This is to tell you whether your bond is ready. And of course, in summary, these are the various channels which
Hello, Mr. Yusuf.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me now?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, please.
Okay, yes.
We can hear you now, please.
All right. Fortunately, I'm almost getting to the end of presentation itself. So in that case, maybe I should just conclude. But however, I just want us to, be aware that these are the link where you can reach us. info@laspec.gov.ng, www.laspec.gov.ng, www.laspecportal.com.ng. In as much as I'm not too sure of where you had me last, but again, this is the summary, and I can assure you that as soon as we, finish this event, we are going to upload the event of today in especially www.laspecportal.com.ng, and you're going to have access to it. So thank you very much. Visit this place for the video. And I want to thank you once again and say, thank you. Are you with me?
So thank you very much to you, Mr. Yusuf, and to all our listeners. Please, if you can still hear me, if you're an attendee or you're listening to me, can you just say yes in the chat room so that I'll be sure that you can hear me? Please just say yes, and I'll be sure you can hear me from the chat room. Okay, thank you very much. We'll take a few questions, and I'm going to give opportunity to one or two people to ask live question, question. So please, can we, you can please lower your hands now to enable me know who wants to ask question. Because if I still see all the hands up, it makes it difficult for me to know who wants to ask question. We have 14 questions. In total, we have 60 questions, but we've been able to respond to 46 out of this. Again, we are going to pick some questions out of the listed questions, but you have access to LASPEC through the virtual platform and through the phone call, the email that Mr. Yusuf just made available to us. So I want to quickly pick some questions. First, I want to start with Caroline Ijaluwe. If I do not pronounce your name well, please forgive me for that. Caroline Ijaluwe. And this question is for Afis Oyebo. The question is, sir, why can't a pensioner be paid his or her entitlement within 6 months of retirement instead of 2-3 years after retirement to enable the beneficiary live a healthy life? So, Mr. Afis, can you please answer that question?
Yeah, I've actually answered her in the chat. And my response to her, yes, was that the retiree will definitely be paid as soon as possible from next year. The government has assured us that from next year, they will not have to wait for 3 years, RSA accounts, because the element of the gratuity is not inclusive. If they were to be paid from that, one, they will have small amount of money to be paid. Two, the government may not or may feel reluctant to pay that gratuity. That is why we are ensuring that the gratuity, the accrued rights, which comprise the gratuity, is paid into it. If you look at other states, they give them stipend every month, and their gratuity wait till 10, 5, even 12 years. But Lagos State doesn't want that. That is why you have a little wait, not delay now. And by the grace of God, from next year, as soon as possible, you will be paid. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Caroline, I believe you can get that response from Afis Oyebo. Then I want to pick the question of Raimi Fausat. I noticed my monthly savings into my NLPC PFA account decreased in amount. How am I to go about that? I think that's a question that Mr. Femi can answer. Do we have Mr. Odukoya still online? Mr. Femi Odukoya.
Still online.
Okay, Raimi Fausat asked that she noticed that her monthly saving into her NLPC PFA account decreased in amount.
Okay.
How do you want her to go about that? It's quite very strange to me, but over to you. You are the expert.
Yeah, it's one confidence I can assure her is that it's a temporary glitch because of maybe the dynamics of the economy. So it goes up and down. That's how the economy is dynamic. But she should be rest assured that just a very short term, most of the time, very short term. And because pension funds are usually long-term tenured, so she has no cause for worry at all. I'm sure the whatever will pick up very soon because it's a function of the fund price that is experienced on a daily basis. So she should rest assured. I'm sure the funds will come up again. There is no cause for alarm. I can assure her.
Okay, thank you very much. So we'll just go to live questions because our time is fast spent. I actually requested that please, if you're using your phone name, I will not call your name. I can see Galaxy S7. Unfortunately, I will not be able to call your name, Galaxy S7. So let's go to Angela Onomo. Angela Onomo, please, you can unmute yourself to ask your question. Angela Onomo, please. Hello, Angela Onomo. Okay, Angela is not there.
It's not getting through.
Hello, Angela.
Yes.
Okay, please, can you ask your question? Make it brief, very brief. Okay, let's
What
go
are
to
the requirements
Emmanuel.
needed?
For what? So Emmanuel Uye, can you ask your question, please? You can unmute yourself. Hello, Emmanuel, you can unmute yourself. Okay, I think there's a challenge with Emmanuel. Shumori Adeleke. Do we have Shumori Adeleke there? Shumori Adeleke, can you ask your question? Please unmute yourself, Shumori Adeleke. Hello, Shumori Adeleke. Okay, I think people are having challenge on the understanding. So I'll take one more person. If we're not able to succeed with that, we'll put a close to it and we'll direct you to how you can ask your question.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Shumori Adeleke.
My question is how gratuity is calculated? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Okay. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Femi Udukoya.
As gratuity computed, well, we don't call it gratuity. Not called gratuity. It's called lump sum. We have the lump sum, we have the program withdrawal, which the retiree picks on a monthly basis. Okay, now, how is it calculated? It's a function of 4 parameters. There's a template from PENCOM to every PFA. That template is the computations are already there and embedded. So what the PFA will do is to insert the 4 parameters: the age of the retiree, the RSA balance of the retiree, all right, and the last, the total emolument of the retiree. what it presupposes is that the intention of the act really is that every retiree will be collecting 50% of the salary was earning prior to retirement. That's the mindset of the template, and that's the mindset of the government. So once those figures are imputed, the PFA job presses enter, the figures comes out. That's all. So it's not subject to anybody's manipulation. All right. So, and it's a generic template across all the PFAs. Most people at the end of the day always pick 50%. Some 25, some 33, some 40, but most pick 50%. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Femi Odukoya, for that response. On this note, I'll just do a final wrap up before we go to the vote of thanks. We've had a very wonderful session today, the 19th Pre-Retirement Seminar for the civil servants of Lagos State who will be retiring soon. It's been a very wonderful journey with you. You need this information to guide you in what you will do, starting from what Mr. Afisoyebo said about your documentations, the step you need to take to ensure that you are properly documented so that you can, from time to time, get the right information from LASPEC. So to contact LASPEC for you to know more information, if you need more information or explanations or clarities from Lagos State Pension Commission, you send email to info@laspec.gov.ng. info@laspec. They would be ready to respond to you. And for those of you asking for the clips of today's session, perhaps you came in late, you can visit the website of LASPEC where you will see these presentations. You can watch it all over again to guide you. And again, we want to thank all our panelists, our presenters from Afis Oyebo, talking about retirement documentations, to Mr. Femi Odukoya, who took us through program withdrawal. Thank you very much, Mr. Femi Odukoya, the Executive Director of Crusader Sterling Pensions. And we have Mr. Oluwasegun Adibanjo of FBN Insurance taking us through annuity. Thank you very much. We have Mrs. Adadogan. She took us through a wonderful session of how to take care of our health during retirement. Thank you very much, Mrs. Dogan. You're always very reliable. I had a very wonderful session. I was just tempted to actually bring your session to a close. I was enjoying it, to say the truth. Thank you, Mr. Wale Shueton, on how to manage our fund. Definitely, Mr. Shueton. And again, thank you, Mr. Babatunde Yusuf, for your presentation. It's been very wonderful. We also want to thank everyone on this call. I want to thank the DG, Lagos State Pension Commission, Mr. Babalola Obilano. He's been a worthy leader, very supportive. He's been the key driver behind this, and it's just been very wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Babalola Obilano. And ultimately to the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Establishment, Training and Pensions, we want to thank you for joining us on this call today. Your leadership has been quite wonderful, and it's been impactful on the pensioners in Lagos State. So we want to thank you. And again, to Executive Director of Finance and Investment, Mr. Miwashi. I want to say thank you, and now hand it over to you to do the final wrap up, the vote of thanks. Over to you, Mr. Muiwaoshi. Hello, Mr.
Thank you very much.
Amuiwashi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adeyemi
Hello.
Ajayi.
We
Hello.
have Mr. Amuiwashi online.
Yes, yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can anyone hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Hello.
And I would only just quickly wrap up by thanking once again everyone for
We can hear you, sir.
present in
We can
the
hear you.
at the session today. We thank our Honorable Commissioner. We thank our permanent secretaries present, the Director General Lagos State Pension Commission. Thank you very much. Our distinguished colleagues, soon to be taking out time to be part of this seminar. We most especially thank our indefatigable governor, Mr. Governor, for what he has been doing to ensure that our retirees are paid on time as they retire, and his promise to improve upon this in the coming years. We sincerely appreciate once again all the panelists, our coordinator, Mr. Yemi Ajayi, thank you very much. We thank you all and we wish you very well as you retire. And for us in LASPEC, we look forward to working with you to ensure that you have a seamless transition and that you are able to access all your benefits as soon as your documentation have been completed. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day and have a lovely week ahead. God bless you all. Thank you.